Hello and welcome to another episode of Off-Season Grades here on the Field of 68 Media Network. My name is Rob Doster. I have none other than Terrence Oglesby here to talk with me about the man that discovered him when he was just a lowly recruit out there in East Tennessee, and that is none other than Clemson's own Shaka Smart.
Clemson's
So,
Shaka Smart.
Clemson's own Shaka Smart.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah, we'll
so
claim him.
yeah, so we're talking about Marquette here, obviously. And Marquette to me is the single most interesting conversation to have about the offseason. Like normally what we do with this stuff is talk about the returnees and talk about the guys that transferred out and then talk about the guys that transferred in. And there's none of that. They lost a couple of transfers of guys that didn't really play all that much. They brought no transfers in. Shaka has gone all the way in on player development, on
Retention.
adding freshmen, on retention, on doing this the what is now the old school way. And I love that he is trying this because I think it is a fascinating maybe social experiment is the wrong way to phrase it, but I think it's going to be a really interesting way to see if this works out for a couple of reasons. One, I don't think anybody saw Tyler Kolek turning into a pro when he transferred in from George Mason. I don't think anybody saw Oso Ighodaro turning into a pro when he came in as a like no nothing whatever the 0-star recruit or whatever he was, right? I don't know how many people saw Cam Jones go from being a guy that was kind of like a little bit of an undersized scorer to a first team All American that was picked. Was he the 40th something pick? Got a guaranteed contract, got himself paid. He's an NBA player now, right?
Yep.
So where does that come from on this roster this year? Sean Jones going to be healthy after coming back from the torn ACL. Chase Ross, who was one of my favorite players in the Big East, will he be the go-to guy? I know you like Zayd Lowry and Royce Parham. Ben Gold is a guy that has worlds of potential that still hasn't quite put it all together. Demarius Owens is back. Trey Norman is back. Caden Hamilton is back. And there are 4 freshmen coming in. I'm just going to shout out Nigel James because
I
I
like
think
that kid.
yeah, because we talked about him last year at Peach Jam, and I think that he is the quintessential Shaka Smart guard. So just big picture, man. Like, what do you make of the way that Shaka Smart is going about building a roster and building a program this year?
I, I I love it. It's original. He believes in the guys he brings in from the time they get there. I'm with it. I have no complaints. I do think, how Sean Jones heals from this injury is going to be a massive one. I do like the insurance policy of Nigel James because that's a tough, hard-nosed guy. He does get a little bit
Yes.
crazy. They're going to rein him in, but he has this competitive streak that is on par with Shaka Smart. So that says a lot about him, that in and of itself. You mentioned a bunch of names, and a lot of them are kind of similar in how they play. Chase Ross, Zayd Lowry. The guy who's going to make a difference this year is going to be Demarius Owens. As a guy who started out the season on the bench, kind of took him a while to get comfortable, never really got fully comfortable. That's going to be the guy. It might take a month or two into the season, but you wait and watch. That guy's going to explode on the scene. There's a ton of talent there, giant wingspan, good size, does everything well. He's a guy that could have a really good year. Does Ben Gold take another step? But you kind of plan on them to do that. It's kind of become commonplace for them to do that. Cam Jones had to shoulder a lot of the offensive load. Where are those points going to go? You know, it's pretty fun to see guys develop into these roles. They lost. Joplin was at 14 points. Stevie Mitchell was at almost 11. And then, what is that? 44 points a game, basically.
Mm-hmm.
Where are those points going to go? Somebody's got to score. I think Demarius Owens is going to be a guy that steps in and does big things. And I also, you look at Sheik Pearson, who they just brought in, who just announced he was going to reclass and redshirt. Let's revisit that in November because Sheik Pearson might put on 30 pounds between now and November, and it'll be like, he's so damn good, we can't keep him off the floor.
Mm-hmm.
That's so we'll see how all this goes. But I like it. You stay consistent. You believe in your guys. You take the guys. You stick with them. Why bring in other guys when you can pay your own guys and take care of them and have them go through this developmental process with you? And they've shown that they could do that with consistency.
I think that this year, I reiterate everything that you just said. I love that this is the way that he's doing it, and I can't envision Shaka doing it a different way, right? Like there's very few coaches that view their relationships with their players the same way that as importantly as Shaka does, right? Does that make sense? Like
Mhm.
that's you commit to that program, you go to Marquette or VCU or to wherever you played for them, and you're going there to be a part of the family. And I think that he is as good as anybody at developing the culture within a locker room. And I think the
Yeah.
reason why it worked so well for him at VCU was that he got those 4 year guys. And then he went to Texas. And at Texas, the expectation is we got to get these like one and done
Yeah.
pros. And he started doing that, and it didn't work as well because you don't have those guys in that program for as long. And I do believe that was a little bit of an eye opener for him. So now, when the one and dones that you would be getting would be these transfers or these older guys or these grad transfers or whatever it ends up being, and he's like, that didn't work for me at Texas. What worked for
Yeah.
me was what happened at VCU, and so he's doing it. And I think within that process, you're going to see players like Cam Jones develop, players like Stevie Mitchell develop. You're going to see the Oso Iguodaros pop up, and you're also going to have years like this year where it's going to be a reloading year is the wrong way to phrase it. I think it's more of a developmental year because you lost so much the last 2 years to the draft. You need some of these guys to come in and figure out how to be able to play a larger role. So I think that Marquette's going to take a little bit of a step back here this year as they get ready for what could end up being a Big East championship push in 26, 27. Does that make sense? Like Demarius Owens, I think, needs a year to get to the point where he's an all Big East caliber guy. I think you could probably say the same thing about Lowry and Parham as they kind of get adjusted to playing these bigger roles. Now, all that said, I'm curious your opinion on this. Chase Ross to me is a guy where if it clicks, then that changes things. Like if he becomes a 17 to 18 point scorer where he can be your go-to guy offensively, then that changes things a little bit, changes the calculus a little bit in how this roster is constructed and how it looks to me. Does that make sense?
It does make sense. I think even more so this year. Where's the playmaking going to come from
Mm-hmm.
consistently? Because Sean Jones is like a head down as fast as I can go, get into the paint. But small guards struggle to score and around the rim in the Big East. So, like, where's your playmaking going to come from? Is Chase Ross going to turn into this passing savant that all of a sudden our guy did, like our guy Cam Jones did last year after losing Tyler Kolek, who was another passing savant? I look at Ben Gold. What is this going to be the year? We kind of I predicted it last year, and he was fine last year. I kind of expected more, but he was fine. And I think that had more to do with Cam Jones dominating the ball so much. Ball's going to have to work a little bit. I think Demarius Owens has a real shot at being that next guy where everybody's like, what the hell's happening? Like, where did this guy come from? And, Marquette's just sitting there like, we're sitting on a crown jewel. We're going to see what happens.
If you haven't heard by now, we have partnered with BetMGM for the season. We'll be using BetMGM lines to make all of our picks, and we'll have special offers for the listeners and the viewers. Download the BetMGM app and sign up using the bonus code FIELD. Deposit at least $10 and place your first wager on any game, and you'll receive up to $1,500 in bonus bets. Go download the BetMGM app and use the code FIELD today. Yeah. They need him to.
They need him to. And here's the thing, Rob, like we talk so much about transfers and guys looking forward, like there's not a ton to talk about with Marquette. We know what we're getting. And I think the really cool part is, they brought in 4 freshmen that are not redshirting.
Mm-hmm.
Like not a single one of them are in the top 50, but not a single one of them are outside the 125 either. And you look at it, going back to, I'm just using this because we've already talked to some Big 12 teams earlier. You look back at like what Bill Self did, like when he was winning national championships, he was getting guys from 50 to $1.25. And now you look at what Shaka's doing. He's getting guys from 50 to $1.25, and they're developing them. So there are going to be ebbs and flows, but at the same time, like Shaka hasn't missed a tournament since he's been in Marquette. Does he miss the tournament this year? I'm not betting against him.
Yeah.
That's where I'm at.
If he's gonna, this is gonna be the year that he misses it because of like
I just think somebody will step up, and I think it could be Demarius Owens.
And look, if we're gonna be honest about the situation that he's in the Big East, UConn and St. John's are absolutely loaded. Like we're looking at potential top 5 teams in America, both national championship contenders. And then you get past that, and it's like, well, like
Just got to sneak one.
yeah,
Pfizer Forum's a hard place to play now.
it is. And you got guards that are tough. They're going to get out and they're going to pressure the ball. I do think that we're going to see a little bit more um, of a return to kind of like the Havoc style a little bit, and
Could
not like
happen.
not full on like we're pressing you and trapping you for 40 minutes all over the place, but we're going to try to turn some turnovers into easy points, right? Like the one thing you could say about Sean Jones and Chase Ross, and I think that we can eventually put Nigel James into that conversation, is like they're going to climb all up in you, right? Like they are going to make life miserable for you as a ball handler. And if you do that in the backcourt, you got a bunch of guys with length and athleticism everywhere else on this roster. Like you can create some turnovers. And I if you've ever seen someone faster end to end with a basketball in their hands than Sean Jones, like I'd love to hear it. That dude, I'll tell you what, that
How he
dude
comes
messed
back from
up.
injury
Like
is going to be huge.
that dude messed. He should have been a running back somewhere. Like he was one of those guys that like was supposed to be a cornerback and then just decided basketball was a lot more fun than football was.
Yeah.
Like that dude might have picked the wrong sport.
Yeah, but at the same time, like being that full court havoc defender is something that's learned for him
Mhm.
because, I talked to Shaka about him. He's like, that wasn't necessarily what he was. He wasn't this defensive guy. He was a scoring guard when we signed him. So like some of these things are learned. Is he going to be able to be that pest defensively coming off an injury like that? That, there's a lot of question marks, but here's the thing. Somebody's going to step up. Like 44 points don't go nowhere. Like it's not like they're not going to score 70, at least 75 points a game. Who's going to take care of those?
And you know
Somebody's
what?
going
You
to
know what
step
I'd
up.
add to that too. You know what I'd add to that.
What's that?
We saw the progression every year that Tyler Kolek made.
Yeah.
Right? Like he didn't come in from George Mason as a second round pick or a first round pick as a guy that was very clearly going to be an All American Big East Player of the Year, right? Oso Ighodaro did not come in as that level of player. He had a skill set that they developed. Same thing with Cam Jones. Cam Jones came in as a scorer, turned into one of the best scorers in the Big East, then turned into one of the best passers and players and offensive weapons in all of college basketball. And you saw that progression year over year. So
Yeah.
if you saw that with those three guys, like why would you bet against it happening with these other players?
It's a great point. All of
So
that's taken.
yes. So I want to see it where I like one. I like Shaka. Like I'm not gonna lie to you. Like I
Yeah.
love Shaka.
Everybody likes Shaka. It's
Everybody likes Shaka.
impossible not to.
Yeah. So like I want it to work for him. Two, the Marquette fan base, like college basketball is better when Marquette fans are into it. The Big East is better when Marquette fans are into it. Spoiler alert: I'm a big fan of the Big East. To I don't know if you knew that. But I think the biggest thing for
I'm a
me
huge Big
is
East guy.
yeah, huge Big East guy. I think the just the biggest thing for me is figuring out where that developmental leap is going to be. So what's your expectations for this? Like what should it be for Marquette fans, right? You've coming off 2023, you won the Big East regular season and Big East tournament. 2024, you make it to the Sweet 16. 2025, you're a top 25 team and you make the dance, you get to this you win a game of the dance, right? What should realistic expectations be for this group for this season?
It's going to be really exciting because I think it's going to be pretty bubbly, if that makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
Like there's going to be some high wire act games that you're really going to need that you're going to be able to pull out, and then there's going to be some games where you're left scratching your head. Uh, I do think I think it's going to be Demarius Owens, but it could be somebody else. It could be Zayd Lowry who steps up. But I think as far as expectations go, you don't know how not to get to the tournament at this point. So I think getting to the tournament with this group would be strong. I also think that provided that somebody like a Demarius Owens steps up, like it could be top of the Big East again.
Mm-hmm. To me, it
Do
finished
we
in the
give a
top
grade
five.
to this? Do we give a grade to Marquette? Like, I don't know that we don't give an off-season market grade, do we? Like, they didn't
Here's what
bring
I would
anybody in.
here's what I would say. So one, my expectations for the like you should dance. You're Marquette. Your expectations should be getting to the tournament. I
Yes.
think when you lose three pros over 2 years, two of whom were first team All Americans, that and you're not reloading every year in the portal, you have to understand that you're going to have more ebbs and valleys in a team that goes out and hits the portal every single year. So get to the tournament, and I think that would be a great season for this group, and it gives you all kinds of upside to be able to work on and improve as well.
You're going to see progression throughout the course of the year too.
Yes, they're going to get
This
better, man.
team in February is going to be a lot better than this team in November.
Yep, yep, I 100% agree. And in terms of the grade, like I, I'm just I'm going B plus, right?
Just I tell you what, in that little sheet, just give it a thumbs up.
Yeah.
That's
Here,
what I
well,
want. I don't want a letter grade. I just want a thumbs up. Just keep doing you, Marquette. Just keep doing you. I need a thumbs up emoji. Just keep doing you.
okay, I'm writing that down right now. I'll go B plus, and the reason here's my thought process with it is
Adding Sheik Pearson late's awesome.
yeah, you're adding Sheik Pearson late. You lose you lose three stalwarts of your program, right? But you lost them all to graduation. Like
Yeah.
it would be very easy in this situation to see guys say, you know what, this ain't for me. I see the writing on the wall. This is not going to be the kind of year we had last year. Like I'm gone. And they didn't lose anybody, right? So I think it's a risk. If Shaka called me and was like, "Hey Rob, what's going on, man? I need your advice on how to build a program," my response would be, "Hey, look, there's nothing wrong with going in the portal and getting like one guy a year. It's not going to mess up your chemistry. Purdue is doing it right down the road there in West Lafayette, and it's worked pretty well for them to plug specific holes when you need it out of the portal." But I mean, I respect the hell out of the fact that he's not doing that. Like that, it takes some.
I would lose respect if he said, "Hey, Rob Doster, what's your advice?
True. Yeah.
What's your advice on building a
Honestly, I
program?"
would too. Honestly, I would too. Shaka, don't listen to anything that I say, man. Keep doing what you're doing. The dude's got he's got grande cojones, shall we say, Tio. So I'm looking forward to it happening, man. This has been off-season grades here on the Field of 68. Make sure you subscribe to the podcast feed and the YouTube channel. We're rolling out like 40 or 45 of these throughout August and September to get you ready for the 2025-2026 college basketball season. Until then, T.O., always a pleasure, man.
Thank you. Appreciate it.